Time for March deer chores, and boy, what a different kind of March we have this year. I mean, it's really like it's spring out here, and even has a different smell in the air. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but we don't have the snow, we don't have the moisture, the green leaves and the buds aren't taking place yet. And it's a really fresh smell. It's not like that decaying leaf smell in the fall. It's just a really good clean smell, and pretty cool, just different all around. So we're doing some different things. And again, when I talk about March deer chores or any deer chore month, it's what we plan on doing this month. And I'll go over a couple fun ones. March is our shed hunting time. So this weekend, it's the 26th right now, it's a Monday. Well, this weekend, that first weekend in March, we will be shed hunting for the first time. Dante and his girlfriend are coming over. We're gonna have a good time shed hunting. We can't wait. And we'll try to get a little crew out here, but I can't wait to get out here and shed hunt. So that'll be one big thing. I wouldn't call that actually a chore, maybe a chore of passion or love, but we're gonna be out here and it's gonna be a fun time. You know, another one that's a little bit different one is we're killing coyotes right now. So we've got one big female, one big male so far. We have a guy, his name's Joe. He loves shooting coyotes around here. And so he sent me another picture last night. He got one. So he coyote hunts all over the place at night and calls them in. Pretty cool. So we're hitting our coyote population as hard as we can, taking out a few of those. And the goal isn't to take out one or two, it's to take out 5 or 8 and really put a dent in the population. And it's something you got to keep doing. But we've found no shortage of people that love calling coyotes. We might even get into it someday too, on top of everything else we do. But it's a good time to do it right now. It's a good time anytime. And, you know, I always look at it like we have lots of predators because we have great cover. We have great small game populations. We want to maintain our pheasant and grow. We want to maintain the poult and the turkeys that we have, grow. Rabbits we have all over the place. We have plenty of food for the coyotes, but it doesn't mean that I want them all over the property all the time. So we're hitting them. I always look at it like you either hit them, try to hit them all, shoot them all, or you know, occasional one from the stands not going to do you any good or bad. So we're hitting those pretty good right now, and that's kind of fun to see the success on that. Another thing too, again, with it being so warm and lack of snow, usually our water holes are frozen well into April, sometimes even mid-April. Right now our water holes are starting to open, so really like taking that time to take a rake and clean out all the dead debris, the dead leaves, sticks, stuff that just rots and sits in there, get it out, and then let the rains come in. And instead of doing that April, May, like we normally would, we're hitting that sooner this year. So that's a good thing. Now the water holes, believe it or not, they don't have to be clean. It's okay to have stagnant water. We just don't want things rotting in there. You certainly don't want a critter. That's why we have the critter sticks in there. But water, when it's warm and stagnant, and like our little ponds that we use in the containers, that's a very good thing. Deer like that more than a clean, clear brook or creek down at the bottom of the valley. In fact, we have water down at the bottom here, but they hit these water holes really well, even lately, because they like having that warmer, stagnant water. Mosquitoes in it, everything that's normal. Don't put any chemical additives to try to clear the water. This isn't a koi pond. This isn't an area where you care about having mosquitoes. That's all natural to deer. The smell is natural. Imagine if you put chemicals in there. They can smell our fingerprint on a camera from probably a few inches away, let alone putting a chemical in there. It's going to kill mosquitoes or take care of algae. Another thing, I'm standing in all the switchgrass right here. We don't burn our switchgrass because we don't have to. See all these shoots right here? These are all aspen and popple shoots. A great way to control these is we will hit this switchgrass area in here with simazine. That'll take care of a portion of any weeds that are in here. But we have this tree growth and woody growth. One thought is to burn it all and limit this growth right here. And the reason you want to limit it is obviously you get back into here and there's a lot less switch the more growth we have of this. It diminishes. It's no different than a weed. It doesn't matter if this is briars, goldenrod, trees, shrubs that are growing in here. You want to limit this. So the first thing we're doing is we're hitting this with simazine. That's right now. And just going on with the next maintenance steps, once we get into spring green up, maybe that'll be the end of March around here, who knows. But bottom line is, when we get into spring green up, then, and we get this growth of switchgrass and weeds up to that 10, 12 inches, 15 inches high, we'll mow it all down. That way the switch is even with the weeds and the growth. This will all be mowed down, all this growth right here, this woody growth. There's some briars over there. All mowed down, and then once we get that switch back up to a couple feet high, we'll come in here and spray this with 1.5 pints per acre of 2,4-D. So not only are we cutting this off, but then we're allowing the switch to start to overtake it again and smother it out. And about that time the switch is starting to overtake this, then we're getting a good spray in here. It doesn't matter if it's briars, goldenrod, shrubs, or aspen regeneration. We'll get a really good kill on this stuff and make it so we have pure switchgrass in here. You can kind of see where the switchgrass is not suppressed. It's more in that 5-6 foot height. You can see this right here. Some of these stalks are really tall, and it kind of gives you a perspective of where it's not being suppressed. You can tell what the switchgrass is going to do. This is all a cave and rock variety. So what we do is we take switchgrass that's doing pretty well, and now we cut it, clean it out of weeds, and it'll do exceptionally well. It should be in that 6-7 foot range and very thick. And then probably next year we won't have to do anything with it. It's something that you might have to spray it, maintain it every 5, 6, 7 years. But now this is 3 years of growth right here, and this is what we have. So you can kind of see how well it's doing, and we're pretty excited about it in this location. All frost-seeded switchgrass to begin with. Cave and rock variety, it's doing outstanding. So we'll continue to give it some love, and it'll give us some love back. Now, one of the things we love to do, Dylan and I were just doing, we were shooting a video, and within that video, we have a really good opportunity to get into an area where we're looking at historical rubs, and it's an area we want to put a stand in. And so we narrowed it down to the tree today, which way the tree's facing, where he's going to sit on the tree if he's filming with us, where we're moving a water hole to. And so this is a great time to flag those locations and really set up your stand locations for the foreseeable future now, when there's no leaves on the trees, and getting that done right now. So we want to get into, by the time we get into April and May, every one of our stand locations is already figured out for the year, where we're moving water holes, where we're adding blinds, if any, where we're moving blinds. That's all taken care of in the planning stages. So we're out there wandering around in the middle of summer with a bunch of foliage on the trees, trying to figure that out and where it should go. It's just nice and easy. We just go into that location and then put it in there. Now, one of the things we have going on is we have corn and corn stalks that are left, and we like to get those broken down. So we'll brush hog it, get it down to very small quantities and in a lot smaller size. So it's almost chipping it apart. And then what you find is it really starts to break down, diminish, dry up, and eventually deteriorate and blow away, turn to dust. And brush hogging, it starts that process. And we have a lot of areas by the house, for example. Not only are we brush hogging it to break it down so we can start working on it this spring and plant what we're going to plant there and rotate our corn and our food plots, we want to break it down because we're going to be hitting it with simazine. Then we're also going, probably right after we brush hog it, and then the next step is to hit it with Roundup and 2,4-D. Once spring green up takes place, we'll wait about 4 weeks, hit it again with Roundup and 2,4-D because we have a weed problem in there, and then we'll broadcast our switchgrass. So that switchgrass will be a great addition to those areas, and it all starts now by breaking down that corn, getting some of it to blow away, getting it to break up, start spraying, and we can get a really good catch of switchgrass going into the summer, and we'll show you that in the future too. And then the last thing, you know, it's interesting, we have a lot of people ordering seed right now. Pure Wildlife Blends, it's on our website. You can just look up purewildlifeblends.com. We have a lot of people that order the seed for the year right now. And I know during COVID, there was a real rush. People run out all the time. We don't run out. We always plan ahead. That's our goal. It's kind of like you go to your favorite cafe and they have your favorite soup or sandwich, and you go in there, you keep going, you love it, and maybe you go once a week. All of a sudden, they don't have it. You go back again, they don't have it. Well, eventually you just stop going back. And that's what happens with companies too. If you run out of your favorite product, then you just don't come back. And we don't want you to not come back. We want you to enjoy the service that we provide and the quality product, and we always want to have it. I can pledge to you, you can buy all the seed you're on right now in March. There's a lot of people that do, but we're going to have all those products available for the rest of the year. We'll make sure we have those products in stock. We have enough volume that we go through. We're not like that small cafe where they're running out of supplies. They can't afford to buy any for a month or two. We'll keep it on hand for you. We'll keep that level of customer service there for you so that you always have it. And so whether you want to buy it or not, and I have to bring up too, and we've had an ad going here and there just for our Packermaxx. We use a Packermaxx, you fill it with water, very high quality. Lincoln from Michigan, he manufactures that product. He doesn't have sales very often, but right now, code WHS50, that'll get you $50 off that Packermaxx when you order one. It's a really, really good savings, so I urge you to check that out. We don't have deals like that very often, so when we do, we want to let you know about it, but it's a great product that we rely on, and especially running over our buckwheat. If you have freshly tilled fields, Packermaxx is beautiful. And what I like about, compared to other ATV implements that have metal plates that break down all the time and they're not very expensive, for the cost, you get a very high quality product because it's a container that's full of water. It has those V's and that exterior footprint that actually cuts grooves into the soil. It's a very high amount of pounds per square inch. I think the whole unit, a 4-foot unit is about 450 pounds, and then you get that 6-foot unit that's pushing over 600 pounds. So it's a great addition for ATV side-by-sides. We actually have the 4-footer and the 6-foot, and we can't wait to use that 6-footer this year. We have so much to do in Wisconsin and Minnesota, so it helps us get done a lot faster. We're actually spraying every other lap around with that thing, and if we need to, while we're crushing buckwheat or doing whatever we need to. So a really good opportunity for you to save some money on that. And bottom line is, get your deer chores done. This is what we're doing in the whitetail woods, and I'm probably forgetting a few things to make sure that we stay on track each and every month, because boy, it'll be August before you know it, and you'll be way behind and wish you would have done this right now in March, April, May. Get these chores done, and it'll really pay off this deer season.